Good evening. This is the June 25th, 2025 meeting of the Newcastle Zoning Board of Appeals. We have a few extension requests tonight before we get into our agenda. Mr. Secretary.
When
Hi, good evening. My name is Richard Vale. I'm Joanne Wen's architect. And yeah, we were before you a while back requesting a variance to construct a one-story bedroom bath addition. And we have come by, I guess 6 months ago to ask for our request. We're having some challenges finding a civil engineer to help us with the drainage plan, but we got one since then and got that work done, and so now it did take a little while, but we found our builder too and the right price, and so it just took a little longer than we expected to finally
Right
land on
price,
someone.
that's important.
The right price is very critical, the right builder, but we found him. The drawings are done and we submitted it for a permit, and then we, just as it had expired, as our ZBA approval expired, so I'm coming before you one last time maybe to ask if we can have an extension to, because we're ready to actually break ground anytime we get the permit at this point.
Okay, and you anticipate well, I don't know, is permit for him is gonna be a long time or right?
The building department has no objection, the building permit will be issued shortly.
Short, good, okay, good. So we give you 6-month extension, is that,
Yeah, that should work, yeah, that's definitely what we wanna start as soon as we can on the.
okay, so let's do that. I'll make a motion that we grant the 6-month extension for the one project.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordino.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
Got your extension, good
Great,
luck.
thank you very much, appreciate it.
Jaguar Realty Incorporated.
This applicant, I believe they weren't able to attend via Zoom, so they were just gonna ask the board to hear it, and if there were any questions, who's gonna be.
So there's nobody to speak to this application? We're already a little over. So I guess we could, did they give us an indication of how long they wanted to extend?
I can pull up their extension
I don't
request.
see it here.
Oh, it's not on the letter?
Mr. Chairman, they're requesting 12 months.
12 months.
Yes.
Does the building department think that's reasonable?
It's my understanding that a transformer is not available from Con Edison, despite what is
Okay,
mentioned here, they had in a conversation at a construction meeting.
okay. That's understandable. So due to those extenuating circumstances, I move we grant them a 12-month extension.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
Okay, Cardsman.
I'm not here either.
Once again, Cardsman.
Again, we're going to lean on the building department. Have they filed any papers or?
Mr. Chairman, it's my understanding that they've been held up by the Board of Health in getting approval for the septic changes for the additional bedroom over the garage.
Okay. Again, we know paperwork, it's extenuating. Okay, are they asking for? They're not asking for any specific time to extend. I'm gonna make a motion that we grant them a 6-month extension.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
White.
Hi, I'm Christian of the Need Group, here representing the Whites for 25 High Meadow. We're requesting a 6-month extension on the variance that was granted. We're just working our way through the building department engineering process. Hopefully it doesn't take the full 6 months. We're almost done with engineering and the plant replacement, and I believe just next step is building after that.
Any objections from the board? Okay, that sounds reasonable. Again, it's paperwork. I'll make a motion that we grant the White request for a 6-month extension.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giardina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
Fragola.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi. I was looking for a 12-month extension on the portico I have planned for the front of my house.
Why do you need 12 months?
Availability with my contractor, some financial constraints, and just I guess timing of the year. So it's seasonal. I'd rather not do the work over the winter months. I have two young children, and the front of the house is going to be exposed. So preferably like to start in the spring of next year. So I mean 6 months would put me into the winter time, so it just wouldn't do me any good. So yeah, respectfully request 12 months.
All right, that sounds reasonable. Does anybody has an objection, or the building department have any objection? No. Okay. I'll make a motion that we grant the 12-month extension.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giardina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Um,
Good luck.
And the next extension is Bizyayev.
Hi, it's me. We're requesting again an extension for our deck. We've been trying to do it like third year in a row, probably you know our situation. And so our architect couldn't make it today, so he asked me to ask for a 12-month extension, because we're still working with our civil engineer and architect to send again plans for your approval, and since like once it will be approved, we can start work right away.
Okay, but this is a third request. That's unusual for us.
Yes, I know, because the rules for from I don't know, Department of Engineering Department or Building Department was changed regarding the stormwater, and so we needed a civil engineer. Now we are working with the civil engineer, and then our deck we submitted plans for. We found out that it doesn't meet the requirements of the Department of Health, so now we need another extension because we are still working on it.
All right, this is again, it's unusual. I understand the difficulties with dealing with the engineering and everything like that. I'm gonna make a motion that we grant the 12-month extension with a caveat that that will be the last extension granted. If you do not get the project done in the allotted time, you will have to, we will remove the variance, and you would have to start from scratch again to if you wanna continue the project. That's my motion.
I'm not sure if I want this deck anymore, but we'll make it happen hopefully.
Okay,
I second the motion.
Chairman Giardina.
aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
You have 12 months, good luck.
Okay, next we have returning applications, Pine Bridge Realty LLC.
Good evening, everybody.
Hello, yes. I'm William Basharat from React Group representing the owners, Pines Bridge Realty. We've been here a couple of times before and we had to kind of postpone it till we finally realized what is the final project will be. The decision was made to put an addition on the house to make really the dining room and the kitchen big enough to make it a comfortable home. They were like really tiny, the kitchen was like 10 by 14 or something, and the dining room was the same size. So we are extending the house in the rear, and that will accommodate the enlargement of the kitchen in here and enlargement of the dining room. And we moved the deck, originally we were proposing a deck in this area, we moved it in the back, the deck will be in compliance with the setback. And this addition will be only 1 story, just to accommodate the kitchen and the dining room. The other bedrooms, everything else will remain the same. You know, and as I presented at the last meetings, this is the only location that we can really put this addition on. There's no other place I can put it in where it does not require a variance. This lot is substandard as is, regardless what addition, what direction we go to, we will be required a variance. There's no other property available for us to purchase or to acquire that we could, make this variance go away. And also, I said before that the house as is really one of the smallest houses in the neighborhood. Putting the addition and renovating it will become compatible with the neighborhood, so it will not create any hardship on anybody else in the neighborhood. As a matter of fact, it will be a welcome addition.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
So this looks like the same variance request as last meeting, is that correct?
It is not the same, it's similar to it, but it's different portion of the house that requires the variance, the deck versus an addition to the kitchen. We have notified the neighbor, we have changed the request, the application was changed and the neighbors were notified with this change.
Yeah, you refiled and you reposted.
Yes, we refiled and
I remember
reposted.
last time,
Yes,
everything necessary to be done, it's all taken care of.
yes, we have everything in the
That's
control.
good. Okay, so anybody in the audience that'd like to speak to this application or anybody online that would like to speak to this application? There are no hands up, okay. Anybody on the board has any further comments? I'll move we close the public hearing.
I second that motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
No, you're not done yet.
Oh. I'm used to walking away and then.
If it was that easy, everybody would do it.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that the application of Pines Bridge Realty LLC for the second floor addition, which requires.
First.
No, this, I was.
Oh, the second floor addition, yes.
Still looking at second floor here.
Mhm.
Which requires a 24-foot variance. And a rear addition, which requires a 14-foot variance. Be approved for the following reasons. This building is on a substandard lot, it is for existing legal non-conforming structure. It will be an asset to the neighborhood to have it renovated and added to meet the current standards of our time. There have been no neighbors who are in opposition to this application. The granting of the variance will not create an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood. There is no other feasible method to achieve the desired end other than to grant a variance. This is not really a substantial variance in my opinion, in this particular instance, it's not substantial. There'll be no adverse effect on the physical environment or the neighborhood. This could be considered a self-created hardship, but due to the fact that it's a legally existing non-conforming and you really can't do anything but have a variance for anything you wanna do, we will not consider it that. And you're gonna have to provide us with foundation surveys prior to framing.
Correct.
You'll have 6 months to start and 1 year to finish.
Tony, this second,
No, that's wrong.
that's wrong.
Yeah.
It's 14.
This is it.
I didn't have that. That's why I thought it was the same.
That's okay. That's why I did the motion. Okay, that's my motion. Do I need a second?
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
You have your variance. Good luck.
Thank you very much, have a great evening and stay cool.
You too.
Bye now.
Graslitzer? I know I messed that up.
Good evening, I'm Scott Hirschland, returning as the architect of record for the variance application for 2 Hemlock Hollow for the Dallas residents. We have, since our last appearance in front of the board, spent a significant amount of time and resource revisiting the proposed design that we set forth. And in doing so, we come today with a modified plan that is seeking a smaller variance for a corner of our deck that is inclusive of a structural post and the landing to go down to grade. In addition, the deck itself was actually completely reconfigured in response to the extensive conversations about how said outdoor space was going to be enjoyed. That is what we have. I'm happy to walk you through any questions on the plan.
So how is it different exactly?
It's a great question. Essentially, we've completely moved the outdoor pergola entertaining space to the complete opposite side of the deck. So it really is about them enjoying their side yard and not being on this end of the deck. It's a complete opposite of what it was before.
Thank you.
And does the deck height remain the same?
Yes.
Anybody else? Anybody in the audience would like to speak to this application? Yes, come right up.
I just wanted to thank the board for the time and consideration that we had the last time we met.
Could you state your name for the record,
My
please?
name is Robert Natale, a neighbor of the Growlitzers, and I also wanted to publicly thank the Growlitzers for the changes they made in consideration of some of the things that came up during the course of the last meeting. And we very much appreciate that.
Good, thank you. Anybody online would like to speak to this application?
No hands are raised. No hands are raised.
No hands are raised, okay. No more comments from the board? I'll move we close the public hearing.
I second that motion.
Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
If I could take it, make a motion that in consideration of the Growlitzer request at 2 Hemlock Hollow for a rear yard variance of 6 feet in order to build a deck. The Growlitzers had been in front of the board last month and neighbors had expressed some concerns about the project. And the Growlitzers have made the necessary changes that appease the neighbors, which we are very pleased about. This is again for a deck with fireplace. This granting of the variance will not create an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties, particularly now that the changes have been made. The benefits sought by the applicants probably cannot be achieved by any of the feasible method as the deck is in place and they are making modifications to the deck. The requested rear yard variance is not only is it not substantial, it's been reduced from 9 feet to 6 feet. It will not have an adverse effect or impact on the physical and environmental conditions in the neighborhood. The neighbors who were present, who had spoken in opposition to the variance are now here and speaking in favor of it. It is in some respect a self-created hardship, but the benefits sought by the applicant will outweigh the self-created hardship. Tom, what will we need for this?
A final survey, please.
Okay, we'll need a final survey, 6 months to start, 1 year to finish.
I'll second that.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Maureen Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
You have your variance, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Well,
Okay, now we're in the public hearings, this is Comstock.
Good evening. Apologize, I'm not there in person. This is Michael Picarolo, MAP Architects representing Ms. Comstock. My client purchased the property several months ago and discovered that the side wooden steps and landing were not permitted and non-conforming. So the entire southern side of the property, I believe, is non-conforming for side yard setback. So we're here to rebuild a new landing and stairs in the same exact location, a little smaller, and we're here to seek a variance to build that.
okay. So why were they not permitted? Because of the setback or because of the construction of the?
They were built by a previous owner before my client took ownership of the property. So
Obviously without a
I
permit.
don't know, obviously we weren't part of it, I don't know why they were built that way, or were built at all, but clearly they were built without a permit. And so we're here to rebuild it, because it's in terrible shape anyway, so we're here to rebuild it, and then again, it'll be smaller.
Sounds reasonable to me. Anybody on the board have any comments?
I do not.
Is there anybody in the audience who would like to speak to this application? No. Anybody online with hands raised for this application? No hands are raised. Okay, sounds pretty simple. I'll move we close the public hearing.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Maureen Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
Okay. I'm gonna make a motion that the application of Rebecca Comstock for the side yard variance of 19 feet for the steps and a side yard variance of 17 feet for the landing that they are proposing to reconstruct to be approved for the following reasons. The existing steps are in bad shape and need to be replaced. They were built prior to the ownership by the current owner without a permit and in such a way as they were not acceptable to the building department. The new steps will meet the code except for the need for the variance. The granting of the variance will not create an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood. There is no other means available to achieve the desired end other than the granting of a variance. There's the construction of these new steps and landing will not have an adverse effect on the physical environment and neighborhood. I do not consider this to be a self-created hardship. The steps are there and they're just fixing what's making it legal. And you know, to give us, the steps gonna be made out of masonry or wood or what, Mike?
Correct, no, the wooden steps are gonna be ripped off and we're gonna make them out of bluestone and masonry.
So you're gonna have a footing under it?
Correct, yeah, we've already submitted permits to the building department as a part of the denial process.
So do you want a validation survey prior or just to serve as built later, Tom? Whatever you.
Okay.
And as built at the end would be fine,
Okay,
sir.
we'll need an as-built survey upon completion. You'll have 6 months to start and 1 year to finish.
Perfect.
I second.
Thank you very much.
You're not done yet. Everybody's in a hurry tonight, it must be the heat.
Chairman Giordino.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
You have your variance, good luck.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Robert Wildack.
So I am also here representing Lindsay and Robert Wildack.
Good.
Very convenient. So they have a very odd shaped lot. Their front door faces the side yard, as happens now and again. So their garage doors actually face the street. So they, a couple of things. They would like to expand their home in their, what they consider their side yard, which is actually a rear yard. And unfortunately, the left side of the entire, back of the house is within the existing, within the setbacks, excuse me. So they're an existing non-conforming house. Anything we do on that back portion of the house, which is actually the side, will require a variance. So one of the things that we're proposing is to square off the back portion and create a family room that's going to be in line with the rest of the house. That requires a variance. They also desire to have a mud which has an entrance from the side, because they have two small kids and one on the way, and they don't like to have the kids go through the garage to get to the kitchen. So they're proposing the smallest, tiniest mudroom I could possibly design, and that unfortunately also requires a variance. And the third thing we discovered after we submitted all the paperwork, and Tom was nice enough to tell us that we have an existing non-conforming unpermitted shed in the rear yard as well. So that's the third variance that we're looking for. The variance, the shed was there before they bought the property. It's not able to be moved. It's not a plastic shed. They use it for storing their lawnmowers and other yard equipment. And they'd like to keep it if they can. The other issue about removing it is it's in the wetlands buffer. So if we had to remove it because we did not get the variance, that would exacerbate any kind of disruption in the buffer.
So how long has that shed been there?
They say over 15 years.
It was put up by the previous owner? Or
Must have been. Or maybe before that, who knows?
Before that, okay. There's been no complaints in the past 15 years over an house problem.
I have two questions. You mentioned if they removed the shed, it would exacerbate what?
Any disturbance, I already have to go for a wetlands permit to erect a deck on the property as well as the family room. So if they can't get the variance, they'll have to remove the shed. The shed is even closer to the water, it's even closer to the into the buffer. So I'm just saying that it's going to become in my view, an unnecessary disruption of the wetlands buffer.
And one question on the mudroom, you mentioned that they've got two small children who are away, and what will the mudroom serve in terms of the children?
They'll allow the children not to have to go through the garage to get to the kitchen,
Okay.
which is quite traditional in most of our homes. Because the front door is oddly sited, the front door is in the side yard, so it's the desire would be to have the kids come, and they don't have a mudroom either, but having a mudroom off the kitchen makes a lot of sense, and it keeps the kids from having to go through the garage.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. Anybody in the audience to speak to this application? Anybody online? No hands are raised. Okay, I'll make a motion that we close the public hearing.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
I can make a motion.
You wanna do that one?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I make a motion that in consideration of the variance request of Robert and Lindsay Lucas Wildack at 101 Marquardt Drive. This is for, they have three variance requests. There is a side yard variance of 16 feet for a mudroom. There is a side yard setback variance request of 3 feet for a den, and a side yard variance of 15 feet for an existing non-conforming shed that was put on the property prior to the owners buying the house. The house is an existing non-conforming house. The mudroom, which is a significant variance request, is for the purpose of allowing the two small children with one on the way to not have to go through the garage to get into the house. The house is set in a strange way in the parcel of the property, which really gives them no other way to achieve their desired effect. The granting of the variance will not create an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties. The benefit sought by applicants cannot be achieved by any other feasible method. Again, this is an existing non-conforming property. The requested variances are somewhat substantial, but given the nature and the need, it is logical. It will not have an adverse effect on the or impact on the physical and environmental conditions of the neighborhood. There are wetlands. There are no neighbors who are present or have written in opposition to the variance. Essentially, it is not a self-created hardship in the respect that they are very constrained by the shape and use of the property as well as the wetlands. Therefore, I would request this variance with the 6 months to start, 1 year to finish.
Foundation survey, please.
Foundation survey, and we need a foundation survey.
I'll second that.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
You have that variance, good luck.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a great night. Stay cool. I'll see you next month. A.
Good evening, I don't know if you can hear me, I'm talking to the microphone. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. My name is Nora Hildinger of Building Permit Services. I'm here representing Norman Hay of 58 Hidden Hollow. And at 58 Hidden Hollow, there has always been a rear yard open deck. Around 1980 or 1981, the owner replaced the deck and enlarged the deck. And he did not obtain a permit at that time. The deck was built to align with the house. At that time, in 1980, when he constructed the deck, the minimum side yard requirement was 15 feet. And at that time, both the house and the deck were in compliance with the zoning requirements. In approximately 1992, the zoning, it was rezoned. I'm thinking maybe because of Zorb or I don't know. The new minimum side yard setback was 20 feet. The house and the deck no longer complied, but because the house already had a certificate of occupancy, no action was necessary. At the time of the construction, at the time of construction, it was a 15-foot side yard setback. And the rezoning took it to 20. The deck is at 16 feet. So I'm here to request a 4-foot side yard variance. and the deck is pre-existing and was built without a permit. I could go through some of the factors.
You have a permit now?
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
You're gonna need us to get it, I think, that's why we're.
Yeah, exactly,
that's why
yeah.
we're here.
There's no other way I could do this without you granting me my variance.
Understood. I don't really have any problem, anybody on the board have a problem with this? No? Anybody in the audience would like to speak to this application? No. Anybody online with a hand raised? No hands are raised. This is, okay, I'll move that we close the public hearing.
I second that motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
I'll take this one.
Okay, this is an application by Norman Hay for 58 Hidden Hollow Lane. It's to legalize a existing rear yard deck. So first question is, will the variance create an undesirable change to the character of the neighborhood? No, it's existing and I haven't heard anything in the record here tonight that would indicate there would be any change whatsoever for the neighborhood one way or the other. Can the benefit be achieved, sought be achieved by some other method? No, because the deck is there and to legalize it, you're going to have to get the variance. Is the requested variance substantial? I don't personally believe so. The requested variance is 4 feet, so it's not, I don't believe that to be a substantial variance. Will there be an adverse effect on the physical environment or conditions in the neighborhood? I haven't heard or seen anything in the application at all to suggest that. Is the alleged difficulty self-created? I don't think it is. I think the applicant's just trying to clean this up. That's my personal opinion. You know, even if it were, I mean, here the situation is such that the benefit to the applicant of legalizing it would way outweigh anything else I could really even think of. Tom, what would you need?
We have all documents submitted
Oh,
already.
it's existing, right? Okay. So the applicant would have 6 months to start and 1 year to finish, but you've already completed it, so this is just really a variance of 4 feet to legalize. I have a second?
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
You have your variance.
Great, thank you.
Trevor.
Short little thing I'll just read through just so I don't forget anything. Good evening. My name is Christopher Traver, and my wife and I are the owners of 9 Shingle House Road in Millwood. We are seeking a 53-foot front yard setback variance and a 26-foot side yard setback variance for the installation of a 10 by 14-foot shed in our front yard. So basically, given the layout of our lot, it's a little bit of an oddly shaped lot, the proposed location seems like really the only realistic place that the shed can be located. And the shed is important to us because it will give us additional storage space and also give us a safe space to store all of our gasoline and electric power tools, which currently the only really place to put that is in our basement, which is not ideal. The shed is mostly hidden from the road. There's some bushes and trees nearby that kind of provide some cover for that. And also previously, the previous owners actually had a swing set in the same location. We have since moved it, but there was no issues with that in the past. We're respectfully requesting the setback variances and appreciate consideration, and thank you, and happy to answer any questions.
Can you tell us why the shed has to be that close to the road and can't be pushed more toward the center of the lot?
So I have some pictures I can show you. Basically, a large portion of the lot is very steeply sloped.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Yes.
Show us the pictures.
Sure. Let me see if I can share my screen here. Screens. Oh, hold on. Give me 1 second, sorry. Enter my password for some reason. I have to leave in
sorry about this, I have to leave and reopen it. This works. Okay. So basically this is kind of where what it would look like. This is like an image of the design superimposed over it. But basically if you can see, sorry, here we go. Basically like this is, like the shed would be over here to the right, and this area here is kind of like the main portion of our lot that's not occupied by our house. Here's another example. So you can see basically the shed would be up here. So this area, at least currently, is not feasible for putting the shed.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Members of the board? Nope. Anybody in the audience would like to speak to this application? No. Anybody online? No hands raised. I'll make a motion that we close the public hearing.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Lauren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that the Traver application to, the shed is not there yet.
Correct, it is not installed
But
yet.
it's not there already. To construct the shed requiring a front yard setback variance of 53 feet and a side yard setback variance of 26 feet. Be approved for the following reasons. This variance request on its face sounds like an extremely large variance, and it is. But the mitigating circumstances to that are that the property in question is almost all sloped. There is no flat spot available other than the desired place to put this shed. Even though it is near the road, it is very well screened. There's plenty of greenery around it. It'll be probably invisible from the road. There have been no neighbors that spoke in opposition to this application. The shed will afford the applicant a very convenient and necessary storage area for his lawn maintenance equipment. The granting of the variance will not create an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood. There is no other method to achieve the desired end of constructing the shed other than granting the variance. There will be no adverse effect on the physical environment if the variance is granted. This technically could be called a self-created hardship, but since there is absolutely no other place on the property to put the shed, and it's well screened, the benefit to the applicant will far outweigh any perceived detriment to the town or the neighborhood. And we'll need just an as-built, Tom,
Yes, sir.
survey? Okay, we'll need an as-built survey upon completion. You'll have 6 months to start and 1 year to finish.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Lauren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
Have your variance, good luck.
Thank you, appreciate the
You're
patience
welcome.
with the screen sharing issue.
So, Yan?
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board. My name is Lee Lefkowitz. I'm a partner at Zarin and Steinmetz. I'm joined tonight by Alan Pilch of ALP Engineering, as well as the property owners, Mr. and Mrs. Yan, And we're seeking several variances tonight that would legalize an existing rear yard stone patio at 12 Spring Lane. The ends have this roughly 319 square foot stone patio in their backyard. It was there when they bought their property in 2019. It was probably there long before that. I myself went on Google Earth to try to determine how long it's been there. It's definitely there in 2010. It's hard to see before that because the satellite images get blurry, but suffice it to say it's been there a long time. I'm gonna turn it over to Alan in a moment to discuss the patio, but just to take you through a few preliminary items. First is that this is really, we're here tonight through no fault of the ends. They did their due diligence, including when they bought their property. They actually obtained a letter at the time from the Newcastle Building Division that they had done a physical inspection and no violations were recorded at the time. So whatever caused this patio to be missed over the years, it was missed, and so now we're just trying to legalize it. Second, the way that they actually learned about it now in 2025 is that they're now in contract to sell their property, and in fact they're right at the finish line. This item is the only thing holding up the closing, which is contractually required to take place before the next meeting. So as you can imagine, it's been a rush for us to try to get all the pieces in place and get this dealt with tonight, and I think we've done that. We've included all the plans, the surveys. We provided that letter back from 2019. We're also providing tonight, I think most importantly, a letter from the neighbors who this patio abuts up against, who are in support of this application. That includes as well the fact that there's actually a sliver of the patio, a retaining wall next to the patio, that actually encroaches 1 foot onto that neighbor's property. And over the last couple of weeks, we worked with them to finalize an easement, which we've finalized, signed, and recorded already, that allows that 1 foot encroachment to remain in place, so that the patio and the retaining wall can remain there. So to sum it up tonight, what we're asking for is a side yard 0 foot setback where 20 is required, a rear yard 24 where 16 is required, and we're also seeking a 6 foot development coverage variance. Potentially, you'll note that in the application, there's also an FAR variance included in there. As we noted in our submission letter, we actually don't think that's required because FAR is typically calculated based on the principal residence, not a deck or a patio. But we know that that was included in the denial letter, so we are, in abundance of caution, seeking a variance from that as well if this board deems it to be required. The reason that the principal residence shouldn't require one for FAR is that it was built in the 1920s, so predates zoning, so it's pre-existing non-conforming. So I'll just close by saying I think you'll see from our application that we undertook a lot of work over the last month to make sure that the 5 factors are met here. There's no undesirable change in the neighborhood character. Indeed, the nearest neighbor, the one who the 0 foot setback is up against, submitted a letter that we've included supporting this application. There's no feasible alternative, it's already built, and Alan can also explain why the unusual shape of the yard and the lot itself makes it so that pretty much wherever you wanna put a patio in that backyard, you need a variance. It's not a substantial request, especially in light of the fact that the most impacted neighbor is supporting us. And there's no impact on the environment, the patio's been there for over a decade or more with no complaints. So that's the 4th factor. 5th factor, the hardship's not self-created. The patio's been there since before my clients owned the property. If there are any questions, happy to answer them, but I'd like to turn it over to Alan just so that he can go over the plans, the survey, and what he's found about the patio.
Good evening, Alan Pilp, ALP Engineering, civil engineer on the project. I'll just say there's no construction that's being proposed. If you'd like, I could share a screen, I could try, so you can see the.
Go right ahead.
Let's see if I can do this. Should show up, there it is, lovely. So I don't know if we noted this before, but in our letter we did. So the property was, the house was constructed around 1925, so it well predates the town's zoning regulations, which were adopted in 1971. The property itself is pentagonal in shape. And it's in the R1 half A district zone, which requires half-acre property. The property itself is only 7,243 square feet, so it's like 33% of the lot size that would be required in the zoning district. When you apply the the yard setbacks, 50-foot front yard, 20-foot side yard, and 40-foot rear yard, the only buildable area, I don't know if I can show this here. Didn't seem to wanna. There actually is above the word stone, 2-story stone and frame, there's actually a 6 square foot area where you can build something on this lot, which would not require a variance. It's a little triangle that's under the word platform step up. That's where that is. So it's only 6.8 square feet. Everything else on the property, the house, deck, porch, patio that's in question, all are within the setbacks. The patio, as Lee noted, was built prior to the current owner purchasing the property. The stone wall actually encroaches between, I think it's like 12 and 14 inches in the neighbor's lot. And the patio covers only 319 square feet. It's roughly 14 by 21 in size. And a patio is a very typical amenity for a house since it provides an outdoor space for the family living in the house to enjoy. And because of the topography, now north is essentially, for lack of a better term, it's kind of up and towards the right. But I'll just say there's very steep grades on this lot. It drops off very quickly to the west on the left, and on the south to the like bottom left of the property. So and that patio area is about the only flat spot on the entire property. And I'll just say, so when it was constructed, it was actually constructed about the only place where it's a reasonable location where the grade is not severe. And I'll just say finally, there is an easement which is provided on the property, shown on the plan, which is 27.47 feet in length by 6 feet in width, extends 5 feet from the face of the wall, and it really just provides access to the wall for maintenance and repair if it's ever needed. That's really it. I hope that helps sort of describe what this involves.
Okay, I have one concern. I know that's a rough piece of property, I know there's not a lot of flat land at all there, but when the patio was originally built, I'm assuming there were no permits for that, somebody just put it in there.
That is
Does
correct.
the building department have any concern with the retaining wall? Is it structurally sound, or do you have any concerns with that? I know it's not really high, but it's not a low one either, it's got some height to it. If the building department has no problem with it, then I think we should just go right ahead with this application, but
We will be receiving a letter of certification from the engineer.
okay, cause I don't wanna do something that later on is a problem. If you're okay with it, I'm okay with it. Other than that, I don't have many concerns about this. Does anybody on the board have any questions or concerns?
No.
Nobody. Anybody in the audience would like to speak to this application? No. Anybody online would like to speak to this application? No hands are raised, okay. In that case, I will move that we close the public hearing.
I second that motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
You wanna do it? Yeah, good.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve variances and other requests for Yan Yutin, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it correctly, but at 12 Spring Lane. The property is pre-existing non-conforming, built in about 1925. There's been a patio there since, we know at least since 2010. The owner purchased the property in 2019. At that time, the town building department gave the owner a clean bill of health and that everything was in its proper order and there were no requirements needed to request variances. The patio in question is 319 square feet. It's on a small piece of land, roughly 7,300 square feet. It is a steep graded lot and truly the patio, the only location for the patio is where it is. We've been notified that they have an engineer in place to assure us that the stone wall next to the patio will be verified that it's safe. The variance requested is let's say a side yard variance of 20 feet. And then a rear yard variance of 16 feet. A development coverage variance request is 158 square feet. The floor area ratio request is 1,046 square feet. This is an existing patio that was there previous to the owner. Therefore, the granting of this variance will not create an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties. It's been there for at least 15 years. The benefits of the applicants cannot be achieved by any other feasible method, and the fact that it is in locale already. The requested variances are significant, but again, this is a small piece of property where I believe it was told us that only 6 square feet of land could be built without a variance. It will not have an adverse effect or impact upon the physical and environmental conditions of the neighborhood. There are no neighbors who are present, and there in fact is the closest neighbor who has written in favor of this variance. And so there are no neighbors present who are opposing this. And I would say it is not self-created hardship in the fact that it is there and in place, and has been there in place for 15 plus years. Tom, do we need anything on this? Other than the engineer's report for the stone wall?
That is correct, yes.
Right. Okay, so we'll need the engineer's report certifying the stone wall is safe.
I'll second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
Have your variance. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Have a great night.
You too.
Pam's?
I'm actually the owner of 350 Whippoorwill Road. We've been living here for over 17 years. My family has grown. All we really want to do is we have an existing kitchen. The house was built in 1940s. We want to change the peninsula to an island. All we really want to do is go out so that we have enough room around the island. We are asking for a setback, a variance, a side variance. My property abuts Rock Ledge Farm. If you know the Zabars, they live across the street from me. So I don't really have a house next door to me, but I do have a driveway that leads to the farm where Twin Oaks used to be. I am staying within the perimeter of the home. I've already been approved for architectural through the Architectural Review Board. I'm only going as far out just to get an island and 4 feet around the island. I'm using the existing patio to get that square footage. I believe I'm only asking for less than 5 feet. I think it's actually 3 feet.
3 feet.
Yeah. So just to keep the perimeter of the home is why I'm asking for a variance.
And this is just to enlarge your kitchen a little bit?
That's it. Yes, exactly. Just to get an island. Right now I have a peninsula and there's 5 members of my family and it gets a little tight. So our dream was always, the house has already been redone. This was the only thing we really wanted to do to our home. So the Architectural Review Board loved what we did. We're respecting the style of the home. We're one of the older homes on the block. Sutton Farms is down below. We have a lot of new homes, so no one really rejects from what I can see. I'm friends with all my neighbors. I'm not going to be bringing down the neighborhood. But I'm just asking for just, a variance so that I can just redo a kitchen, yeah.
So the addition, it's just the kitchen.
Exactly.
Kitchen.
It's not even the eating portion.
You have to bump the house out a bit though.
Exactly, and I'm just going out about 8 feet, not that much. There's patio there already, so I'm just using the space. I have a very large patio. I'm using that space, stealing that space to use for the kitchen.
I was formerly president of Twin Oaks, so I know the land well.
Yes, so yeah. I'm the older home when you drive in
Yeah, I
on
know.
the left-hand
I know
side.
your house, yep.
Yeah. So it's a Cape Cod style home, and if you want to look at page A101, you will see how far out I'm going. You can also see if you want to compare, you can also look at the older plans just to see. Let's see where it's in the back. But I'm not going out that far, it's just to get the space. And I'm respecting the style of the home. Everything will go back, the same clapboard. Add more architectural details to the house so it really looks like a 1940 home. I'm not going modern at all.
I see it, I see your little bump out.
It's not that much. It's minimal and to be honest, if you look at the other side of the great room, I'm pretty much making sure it's balanced.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I don't have any questions about this one. Anybody else?
Yeah. It's 1940, so I can't really change the house
No,
where it is.
Is anybody in the audience that would like to speak to this application? No.
I know them.
We'd love to hear from you if you wanna come up and say hello. No, you shy?
We're for it.
You're for it, that's good to hear, that's good to hear. Anybody online would like to speak to this application? No hands are raised, okay, I'll make a motion that we close the public hearing.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
Who's taking this? I took the last one.
Wanna do this one, or you want me to do it?
I'm out.
Or you can do it, good.
Okay, this is an application for variance relating to an addition, well, the application is a one-story addition and to create a masonry patio adjacent. The variance requested is a 3-foot variance, side yard variance, and for the one-story addition, and then another 3-foot variance for the terrace/patio. Going through the 5 factors, will the granting of the variance create an undesirable change to the character of the neighborhood? The answer, based upon what I've heard tonight, is no, and actually, the homeowner is taking great care to make sure that the change is in fact exactly in character with the neighborhood. Can the benefit sought be achieved by some other method? No, based upon what the benefit that the applicant wants in your kitchen, they have to bump out slightly in order to be able to do that. Is the requested variance substantial? I don't think it is. In each case, the variance requested is 3 feet. And that's, it doesn't strike me as being substantial at all. Will there be an adverse effect on the physical environment or conditions in the neighborhood? No. Again, there seems to be a lot of care in making sure that there isn't such a change at all. Is the alleged difficulty self-created? Well, I guess you could say it is, but here it's the bottom line is the benefit to the homeowner is way outweighs any possible effect on the surrounding area, on the community. Tom, what would you need?
A foundation survey and a final survey.
Okay, foundation survey and a final survey, and 6 months to start and a year to finish.
Okay.
Do I have a second on the motion?
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
You have your variance.
Thank you very much.
Excellent presentation.
Thank you. Must be because I was an educator.
Very comfortable. 211 Bedford LLC.
Good evening. Are we
Right
now?
up.
Yeah, oh, okay.
It's your
Thank
turn.
you. That's it, that's right. Good evening.
Good evening.
Teo Sigüenza, I am the architect for Mr. Tabolachi. Yeah. So we are here in front of you due to peculiar condition. We have an existing parcel. I will get closer to you. Yes. Do I need the microphone to bring the microphone? Okay. Okay, I'll put it here, Mike. Yeah. The condition is that in this particular parcel that we have
Mr. Sequence, I think you should hold the microphone because
okay.
or put it in front of you because otherwise the people at home can't hear you. We can hear you, but they can't hear you.
Very good. We'll make
You can
everyone
take it
hear
out
us.
and hold it if you like, or you can put it on the stand as your preference.
Okay, very good. Well, I'll leave it there. The parcel that we have in this lot, two parcels. One being in the 1 acre district, the one in question, and the other one in the 1/4 acre district. So the one in the 1 acre district, initially the house has been built over the property line. So now we're looking to expand the home, and we want to clean up the condition. We are leaving a portion of the house, and we have eliminated it here in the proposal the section of house that was outside of the property line, built outside of the property line. The expansion that we're proposing is respecting all the setback lines. It meets the building height for sure, the coverage, etc. And the area in question here, we are here in front of you, is this section of the house which will remain. However, it's not over the property line because we have eliminated the section here. That's the reason that we're here. So we're looking to clean up the best as we can with the existing condition.
So the property as it exists right now, is it considered one lot or two lots?
Two lots.
It is considered two lots,
Yes.
so you don't have to subdivide?
No, it's already subdivided.
I'm assuming you're gonna put a house on the other lot.
Eventually.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I understand what you're saying. I just was
Yes.
wondering how it is on the
Yes.
town rules, if it's considered one parcel, if it's two parcels.
It is two parcels.
It is two parcels.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I believe it has been administratively merged for, there's one tax lot there.
So what happens then?
They're gonna have to get another, they're gonna have to recognize the
Not from us.
but not from us, no, it's an administrative thing.
But I don't want our variance to be questioned because of a problem with the lots. If we don't have to worry about that, then I don't.
We took a look at it from a couple of perspectives and we're comfortable that there are two lots there, even though there's one
tax lot.
One tax lot.
No problem. That's
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't really have any other questions other than that, which has just been answered. Anybody on the board have any other questions regarding this part? No. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak to this application? You know, you get, that's your second chance, why don't you come on up? All right, you're shy. Anybody online would like to speak to this application?
Yes, there is one hand raised.
There is one online, okay. We're ready for it.
Hi. Hey, my name is Angela Morgan. I am the next door neighbor. I guess my concern is if this part of the house is not removed, does it negate you from being able to build a house between my lot and the house? The way it is right now, I have 1.77 acres. He has, I would assume, pretty similar. To the sort of town side of my property, the houses are very close. Anyone outside of the town portion The lots are really large, so my concern would be changing the existence of the neighborhood, really. I mean, it's all wooded right now, it's really isolated, it's really lovely. For me, I moved to Chappaqua for those reasons, so I'm gonna be pretty disappointed to have a house going up in essentially our backyard in a very small lot compared to what we all have right now. So if taking this structure or this portion of the structure allows another house to be built and it is the only way another house can be built, I would prefer that it not be an option to take the house apart and put another house between us.
So you're concerned about the what's going to become an empty lot, an empty buildable lot, correct?
Yes, because right now everything is, all of us have so much space and it will then turn it back more into like compressed lots.
I'd just like to advise the board that, you know, I don't, it's not a Q&A session, and I don't advise the board to, you know, opine about the rights of a single lot and the property owner's rights.
I just wanna get her concerns.
Yeah, I just wanna, you know, we would
on our belt,
understand the
so we know
concern.
what we need to address on, if anything.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a buildable lot, we have nothing to say about it. All right, thank you for your input. Anybody else wanna speak to that?
I don't have anything.
Nobody, okay. Anybody else have any questions? I'll move to close the public hearing.
I second the motion.
Kevin Giardino.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that the application of who's making this application? Is this Schlossberg Truck or 211 Bedford Road LLC? Okay. 211 LLC. For 11-foot variance to build a front porch and 28-foot variance to remove the existing garage. And what are you gonna put where the existing garage is? Nothing? What you're removing?
The existing garage is under the house.
Oh, okay.
So that will be eliminated, and we are creating a garage in compliance with the setbacks and the.
So all you wanna do is
the size.
remove what's there, we have, okay, no problem.
Yes.
To remove an existing structure. No problem. And that requires a 28-foot variance. I'll make a motion that we approve those requests for the following reasons. The granting of the variance will not create an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood. There's no other method method benefit that can benefit the applicant other than granting the variance. These are not substantial variances. There will be no adverse effect on the physical conditions of the neighborhood. This is not a self-created hardship in that the property exists as in its current state for many, many years before the current owner. We did have one neighbor who voiced opposition to this application, but unfortunately, the opposition voiced is not something that this board is empowered to deal with. Therefore, we thank you for the input, but we cannot do anything about that. This is not a self-created hardship, and that is, property has been that way for years, and the owner is trying to clean up some of the discrepancies. There's no foundation survey or anything, right? Because the proposed new structure is complying.
We will be requesting a final survey because they are doing additional work and there is a front porch that's being proposed.
Okay, so we'll need a final survey upon completion.
Mr. Chairman, I also require proof of ownership. This is a contract vending.
Okay. Proof, and the building department will need proof of ownership. I'm sure Mr. Tavalacci is well versed in that realm. So do we need to put any restrictions on time, or I don't think we need to. I mean, just go ahead and do it. It's gonna be connected to the other construction because it require variances.
The applicant has expressed an urgency to get started.
Okay,
and it has taken out necessary permits to go forward.
Well, just, I hate to not put something in there.
6 months to start,
Let's
please.
just do a 6 months to start, 1 year to finish, I'm sure you'll be okay with that. And that should be it.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
You have your variance?
Thank you
Thank you so much.
You're
Have a
welcome.
good evening, all members. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Depot. Nice to see you. Thank you so
very
much.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Oh,
Good night.
good night.
We have minutes, I move that we adopt the minutes of the May 28th, 2025 meeting.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
Adjournment in order, I make a motion we adjourn.
I second the motion.